Welcome back to American Controversial. I'm Brad Guthrie. Ezrihel Cohn is the Vice President of the Student Government Association and knows a lot about what's going on and how the SGA can get better. So Ezrihel, do you feel that the SGA is in need of financial reform?
Well, it could certainly use some changes that will help its financial request pass through certain restrictions that should make these issues go away.
Now, from what I see when looking at things that have been passed, for example, I have one for a photographer with makeup for almost $2,000. Now, I mean, I'm not going to mention what clubs or anything. That's not important. But wouldn't it? I mean, for almost $2,000, it would make more sense that there's got to be a cheaper photographer and cheaper makeup, especially when we have our own photography major at the school. You go down to Power Arts Building and find a photographer. So do you think that the Finance Committee did a well enough job at really trying to figure out if this was a necessary price?
I believe that the questions that you have were addressed at Finance Committee, and I trust that the Finance Committee understands. They do this every week. They meet and they assess what are the proper, whether these costs are appropriate, and if the Finance Committee does not feel that these costs are necessary, then they wouldn't pass it. You know, they do this every week. They have much more information about what kind of costs, whether this isn't something that's a fair price. The clubs do present several quotes to them regarding their desired services. I believe this club, when they presented their financial request, the same question that you're asking was asked of them, but they express a certain need for the specific services that this photographer provides that a student photographer cannot provide, because this is a pretty lengthy event. It goes on for several, I believe it's like 5 hours.
But I wonder, based off of the TV club president that spoke regarding to, are these events educationally benefiting to the Wayne Pastor students?
The Finance Committee cannot simply say, look, the Finance Committee does not have in its mandate anything that says, you know, you have to make educational activity choices. The Student Activity Fund is simply that. It's just entrusted into the Finance Committee to administer for student activities. They have to be completely content neutral. All they can do is try to make sure that the money is well spent. They cannot decide whether they cannot turn down an event or pass another event simply because one has more educational merit than the other. That's not something that the Finance Committee has in its mandate.
Now, from what I learned from SGA and things like that, is that if an event is passed, it's supposed to be open to everybody.
Yes, that's
just
correct.
Like how when, as I said before, with the Model UN that we run, even though it helps a lot more if you're a political science student because you understand certain things better, but it's open to everybody. We have people from all majors joining. Now, another thing that's passed was the Atlantic City trip.
Yeah, that's correct.
Okay, and that's for people 21 and older, am I correct?
That's accurate.
Okay. Now, obviously, that's now not open to all students.
That's correct.
And I mean, it's not private that they passed because they upped the ticket prices to put into the scholarship.
Exactly.
But is that
you can't
constitute? I mean, I'm not. You know what? Let me return. I'm not going to say that that's why that passed. I'll take that. But is that constitutional, and is that proper for them to pass?
Well, there's absolutely nothing in the Constitution that prohibits a club from participating along with the SGA in its fundraising efforts. Whether the whole issue about the 21 or older issue or restriction was not set forth by the SGA or the Finance Committee, and this event was turned down at Finance Committee. It was later appealed and passed by the Executive Board. I can't.
Was it investigated regarding to the approval of the cruise line? Did they yet wanted to oversee what exactly the students were objective?
For which?
For the cruise.
For the cruise. Well, the cruise is open to everybody.
It's open to everybody.
Yeah, it's open to all students, and it's been something that's been done in the past. it was suspended for some period of time because there were some issues on one event, and they simply tried to bring it back because there was a lot of interest from students.
Okay. Well, that's all we have the time for today. I would like to thank you all for our guests today and all of the hosts.
You can also find us on Facebook at American Controversial on WPTV 6.
We want to thank you for watching. And always, remember, it's always controversial in America. Good night.